Hi, welcome to Endless Nurses World. I hope all are fine. In last video, we'll studied about psychiatric nursing questions. In this video, we'll study about neurological questions. Before that, we should know about Glasgow scale. It is very important in neurological systems. In this scale, having three responses, namely motor response, eye response, and verbal response. Motor response score is total score is 6. If the patient obeys a simple response, score 6. Localizes painful stimuli, score is 5. Normal flexion to withdrawal, score is 4. Abnormal flexion to it means decorticate positioning, score is 3. Extension response, decerebrate positioning, score is 2. No motor response to pain, score is 1. Verbal response points is total is 5. The patient is oriented, score 5. Confused conversation, score is 4. Inappropriate words, score is 3. Response with incomprehensible sound, score is 2. No verbal response, score is 1. Eye response, if the patient is spontaneously opening the eyes, score is 4. In response to sound, 3. In response to pain, 2. No response even to painful stimuli, score is 1. If the lowest possible score is 3, it means patient is coma or death. Lower than 8 means coma. Highest possible score is 15, means patient fully awake. Then types of head injuries, namely concussion, contusion, skull fractures, epidural hematoma, subdural hematoma, intracerebral hemorrhage, subarachnoid hemorrhage. Concussion means what? It is a jarring of the brain within the skull with or without loss of consciousness. This is called concussion. Contusion, it means bruising of brain tissues. In skull fractures, there are four types of skull fractures, namely linear fracture, depressed fracture, compound fracture, comminuted fractures. Epidural hematoma, the bleeding hematoma occur between the dura and the skull. It is mainly due to arterial bleeding. Surgical emergency is needed. Subdural hematoma, the hematoma occurs under the dura mater. It is due to venous bleeding. Intracerebral hemorrhage, it means rupture of blood vessels within the brain. It's called intracerebral hemorrhage. Subarachnoid hemorrhage, the hemorrhage occurs within in the subarachnoid space. It's called subarachnoid hemorrhage. So these are the types of head injuries. Now coming to the questions. First question is, the nurse is caring for the client with increased intracranial pressure. The nurse would note which trend in vital signs if the intracranial pressure is rising. If the ICP is raised, the changes in the vital signs are increasing temperature, decreasing pulse, decreasing respirations, and increasing blood pressure. Next question is, a client recovering from a head injury is participating in care. The nurse determines that the client understands measures to prevent elevations in intracranial pressure if the nurse observes a client doing which activity. The options are blowing the nose, isometric exercises, coughing vigorously, exhaling during repositioning. The answer is exhaling during repositioning. Next question is, a client has clear fluid leaking from the nose following a basilar skull fracture. Which finding would alert the nurse that cerebrospinal fluid is present? First one is option is fluid is clear and test negative for glucose. Second one is fluid is grossly bloody in appearance and has a pH of 6. Third one is fluid clumps together on the dressing and has a pH of 7. Fourth one is fluid separates into concentric rings and tests positive for glucose. The answer is fluid separates into concentric rings and tests positive for glucose. The next question is, the nurse is evaluating the neurological signs of client in spinal shock following spinal cord injury. Which observation indicates that the spinal shock persists? Options is hyperreflexia, positive reflexes, flaccid paralysis, reflex emptying of the bladder. The answer is flaccid paralysis. Next question is, the nurse is assessing the adaptation of a client to changes in functional status after a stroke, brain attack. Which observation indicates to the nurse that client is adapting most successfully? The option is gets angry with family if they interrupt a task. Second one is experiences bouts of depression and irritability. Third one is has difficulty with using modified feeding utensils. Fourth one is consistently uses adaptive equipment in dressing self. The answer is consistently using adaptive equipment in dressing self. The next question is, the nurse is teaching a client with myasthenia gravis about the prevention of myasthenic and cholinergic crisis. Which client activity suggests that teaching is most effective? The option is taking medications as scheduled, eating large, well balanced meals, doing muscle strengthening exercises, doing all course early or in the day while less fatigued. The answer is taking medications as scheduled. Next question is, the nurse is instructing a client with Parkinson's disease about preventing falls. Which client statement reflects a need for further teaching? Options are, I can sit down to put on my pants and shoes. I try to exercise every day and rest when I am tired. Third one is, my son removed all shoes rocks from my bedroom. The fourth one is, I don't need to use my walker to get to the bathroom. The answer is I don't need to use my walker to get to the bathroom. Next question is, the client is admitting to the hospital with a diagnosis of Guillain-Barré syndrome. Which past medical history finding makes the client most at risk for this disease? The first one is meningitis or encephalitis during the last 5 years. Second one is seizures or trauma to the brain within the last year. Third one is back injury or trauma to the spinal cord during the last 2 years. Fourth one is respiratory or gastrointestinal infection during the previous month. The answer is respiratory or gastrointestinal infection during the previous month. Next question is, a client with the Guillain-Barré syndrome has ascending paralysis and is intubated and receiving mechanical ventilation. Which strategy should the nurse incorporate the plan of care to help the client cope with this illness? Options are giving client full control over care decisions and restricting visitors. Second one is providing positive feedback and encouraging active range of motion. Third one is providing information, giving positive feedback and encouraging relaxation. Fourth one is providing intravenously administered sedatives, reducing distractions and limiting visitor. The answer is providing positive feedback and encouraging active range of motion. Next question is, the nurse is evaluating the status of a client who had a craniotomy 3 days ago. Which assessment finding would indicate that the client is developing meningitis as a complication of surgery? The option is a negative Hernick sign, absence of knuckle rigidity, a positive Prudinsky sign, a glaucoma scale score of 15. The answer is a positive Prudinsky sign. Next question is, the nurse is assessing the motor and sensory function of an unconscious client. The nurse should use which technique to test the client's peripheral response to pain? Sternal rub, nail bed pressure, pressure on the orbital rim, squeezing of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The answer is nail bed pressure. These are all about some of the neurological conditions. If you like this channel, you can subscribe to me and ring the bell button. You will receive my notifications. Thank you.